What is up, everybody? It is Wick here. It's that time again. Got a bunch of sales to show you. These are all things that I've actually sold on eBay and I've made some great profit on. This stuff comes from thrift stores, rummage sales, flea markets, wherever I can find it. As always, if you enjoy these types of videos, make sure to hit that like button for me. Subscribe, all that jazz. I really do appreciate it. But let's jump into it. Here's a nice sale. I sold this new bright Hummer H2 RC. It is massive. I got it at a garage sale. I think I paid $20, maybe $25 for it. And I sold it for $250 plus shipping. This took right around 2 months to sell, maybe a month and a half is all. Now, luckily, this isn't going to be too terrible to ship just because it's in the original packaging. Just going to combine two 16 by 16 by 15 boxes together. Tape it in the middle, do all that, and it should fit perfectly. But a nice profit flip for only paying $20. Here's a cool flip. Hate to see it go. This is a Hamburglar plush I found at an estate sale for $5. Ended up selling it for $50 plus shipping, and it took around a year to sell. This is worth a little bit more if it had the cape. Luckily, mine still had the tie, so I was able to get $50 for it, but it's from 1987, so a little bit rare. Here is a great flip. I sold this new sealed vintage G.I. Joe. Sold it for $430 plus shipping. This one has been listed for a while. Since it was so rare, I priced it kind of high and just let it sit. Usually what I do with things like this, especially if I like them. So it's been about 2 years and it has sold. I don't remember exactly what I paid for this. I paid up a little for it. I think like $50, $75, something like that. But I know I made some great profit on it. A little sad to see it go. Here's the Donkey Kong Country Returns game. Got this at a garage sale for $1. I sold it for $18. I do free shipping on these because they're very light. And this took about 2.5 months to sell. Here are some rainbow vacuum attachments. Got the whole vacuum and everything for $30 at a garage sale. Already well into the profit. Once I sell everything, I'll make around $200. Sold these attachments for $40 plus shipping. They've been listed like 3 weeks to a month. I believe I got 2 more parts to sell and it'll all be done. This is a great flip. Got some of these Gore-Tex redhead boots at a thrift store. Only paid either $1 or $1.50 for them. They're in really good condition, and I was able to sell them for $40 plus shipping. It took about 3 to 4 weeks to sell. Love finding good quality boots for cheap. Here's a pair of Crocs with the smiley faces on them. A couple years ago, I got about $1,600 worth of profit in Crocs at a garage sale. This is still a pair that never sold, so I sold these for $50 plus shipping. The best pair in that lot I sold for about $500. I think I have 1 more pair still to sell, so the others sold much quicker than that. These just weren't as rare or desirable at the time. I think I had about $12 into each pair, so $50 plus shipping. Just adding to the profit. Here is a vintage from the 50s outboard propeller or base for a boat motor. I got this and an actual motor with the base at a garage sale for $1 a piece. I'm going to sell the whole boat and motor for $400. Just the base, I wasn't sure what to price it because I couldn't find anyone selling just the base. So I priced it $60 and it sold in about an hour, so probably underpriced that a little bit. Still, for only paying $1, selling it for $60, that's great profit. Here's a spooky hollow fiber optic Halloween tree. Got this at a Goodwill for I think around $5. Got this right after Halloween, so it has been sitting for about a year. And now that Halloween's around the corner, I sold it for $30 plus shipping. Not bad profit. A little bit annoying to ship though. Here's a sealed model. Got this at a garage sale for $5. Sold it for $50 plus shipping, and it took about a month to sell. One of those easy to list, easy to ship items. Here's an LG DVD recorder. Got this at a garage sale for $10. Unfortunately, it eats VHS tapes. So I sold it for parts and was still able to sell it for $80 plus shipping. It's unfortunate because this is a $200 plus unit working. But it sold in about, 30 minutes of me listing it. Of course, what happens is people buy these and they repair them and then they flip them. That's fine with me. I don't want to take the time to try to repair it. It's really not that hard from what I understand to fix the VCR side of a unit like this, especially if you know what you're doing. So people make a living of doing that. But yeah, a really fast flip for only paying $10, selling it for $80 plus shipping. Here is a Yankee candle. Got this at a Goodwill. It was only $3. It is a more rare scent, I guess. I was able to sell it for $25 plus shipping, and it took around 6 months to sell. Here's a Warhammer book. Got a few of these at a Goodwill for $2.99 a piece. Sold the others. One of them I sold for $60 even. This one I sold for $25 plus shipping. This one took about 9 months to sell. Here's a pair of Skechers boots. These were in very good condition. I found them at Goodwill for $5. However, they did not have the insole, so I just priced them to sell. I priced them pretty low at $20 plus shipping, and they sold in about 3 days. If they had the insole, I probably would have priced them like $30, maybe even $35, but there's just too much competition to try to compete with everybody selling these when I don't have an insole. So the way I compete is I compete with the price it $20 plus shipping, get a sale faster. Here is a Bible. I believe this is large print, maybe not, but ended up selling it for $30 plus shipping, and it took about 3.5 months to sell. Here are 4 Magnavox combo units. These all had problems, so I'm selling them for parts. Priced them $80 plus shipping, and they sold pretty much instantly in about 15 minutes. They usually do. Still making profit on these, even selling them for parts, because I know some of these I paid $3 for. I think one maybe $1, then one maybe $10, right? So if you're buying these things at the right price, even if they don't work, you can always sell them for parts, get your money back, and make a little bit on the side. Just don't pay too much for them. Here's a nice flip. This Dayton motor, capacitor motor. This is something I got locally. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it. $75, I think. This exact one was not on eBay, but I saw some similar motors, different horsepowers and all that, selling pretty well. So I priced this one at $250 plus shipping, and it ended up selling in about a month and a half, but a nice flip at $250 plus shipping. Here's a pair of Jordan shoes. Got these at Goodwill. They had just come out on a cart, I remember. Paid $5 is all for them. I thought they were going to be worth more, but only worth $30 plus shipping is what I sold them for. And they took 2 months to sell. Still not a bad flip. Here's a nice flip. Got this at a rummage sale for $1. Unfortunately, it's not what this box is, because this is worth about $400. I was really excited to find it at first. However, inside is still this one, smart thermostat that sells for, well, I sold it for $55 plus shipping, and it took about a week to sell. So not bad for paying $1. And just to be clear, I'm not shipping it in that box, because I'm sure somebody would want to ask. This is a Jim Henson's Wow Stuff dinosaur puppet. Found this one at Goodwill for $4 and was able to sell it for $45 plus shipping, and it sold in about a month. Pretty cool find, really. Didn't even know these things existed. Here's a pair of Reebok shoes I picked up for $10. Sold them for $30 plus shipping. It took about 3 months to sell. Here's a vintage Count Dooku lightsaber from Star Wars. Got this at a garage sale for $1. Ended up doing a 10% off offer on it, and it sold for $53.89 plus shipping, and it sold in less than a month. So a nice flip. Some of these lightsabers are rare and collectible. Here is a pair of Belleville boots. Got these at a thrift store for $5 and was able to sell them for $45 plus shipping. They sold in less than a month. Here's a great flip, even though it took a couple of years to sell. Got these Pimsleur German language CD sets at a garage sale for $1. The reason they took so long is because I originally had them priced $350, because I had seen some comps where some sold like that. Now 2 of mine are sealed, 1 is been opened. I lowered the price to $200 plus shipping, and it has sold. So remember, a lot of things that I list high and I try to get a lot of money on, that might be why it sits longer. In a sense, you can control how long it takes to sell something on eBay. You can always price it really low, as long as you're still making a profit, and it's going to sell very quickly. I probably could have sold these in a week if I would have started them at 200, even priced them like 150. Still would have made great profit, but I wanted to try to get as much as possible out of them, since I do this for a living. Anyway, $1 into $200, always great. Got about $750 worth of Pleasant Company American Girl doll stuff at a garage sale for only $0.25. Here's a hat I sold out of that lot. Sold it for $25. It took about 5 days to sell. Here's a Lee Sands 100% eel skin wallet. Got this at a rummage sale. Got around $1 into it, and I sold it for $45. Took about a week to sell is all. Great profit ratio. Bought a Bose speaker system for $40 at a Goodwill. Parting out everything. Here's the cables, which I got $45 for, and they sold in about 2 days. That pretty much pays for everything everything else, once I sell the speakers, gonna be some great profit. This is a little disappointing. I got these Rocky boots. They were new in the box. At a garage sale, I paid $25 for them, but they were like $100 plus boots new. Unfortunately, when I went to list them, this cheap leather that's on a lot of these shoes was starting to crumble and fall off, at least the outer layer. So I just ended up selling them for $50 plus shipping. They took about 3 months to sell. Got my money back and still made some money, and decided to just throw the box away because shipping in a big box they were in would cost a bit more, and the box was kind of beat up anyway. So even if you find a new pair, always check this outer edging to see if it's crumbling. I don't know why they have to make boots so cheap like that. Found these LL Bean boots inside of a Goodwill for $5. Was able to sell them for $35 plus shipping. They took about 2 weeks to sell is all. Fast profits. Here's a vintage headlight. Got this at an estate sale with some others I remember. Sold the others very quickly. This one sat now for a couple years, but it finally sold for $20. I believe I paid $1 a piece for all the headlights I got that day. Certain headlights for certain cars can be worth quite a bit of money. This one just turned out to be not as desirable. Here's a Toshiba DVD recorder. Paid $40 for this. Was able to sell it for $170 plus shipping, and it took about 3 weeks to sell. Certain DVD recorder units are certainly worth buying if you can find the good models. Here's a new glowworm. Found this at Goodwill for, I think it was $2.99, and I sold it for $20. Took about a month to sell. Here's a pair of Solomon's snowboarding boots. Got these in an estate sale for $5. Unfortunately, when I went to list them, I noticed some of the leather here is dry rotted or something. It's starting to flake a little bit. So I ended up selling them for $30 plus shipping. Otherwise, I probably would have sold them for close to $80, but they sold in about 4 months. So happy to see them go. Still made some good profit on them. Got these New Balance shoes at a garage sale for $5. Was able to sell them for $40 plus shipping, and they only took about 3 days to sell, maybe 2 days. They were nice and clean, didn't take any effort to list. That's the way I like it. Here's a Lego minifigure from a Minecraft set. Don't remember exactly where this came from, just I buy so many loose Legos and stuff. I sold it for $25, and it took about 6 months to sell. Here's a Cyberpunk Johnny Silverhand figure. Got a few of these with a bunch of other toys I got in a lot. Oh, it's been a couple years now. I've sold pretty much everything except for a couple of these figures. I think I have one more left, but it's sold for $20. Collectively, I probably got, a couple bucks into it. Here's a power nozzle to a rainbow vacuum I got for $30. Already well into the profit by parting it out. Sold this for $50 plus shipping. After all the parts sell, which I think I only have one part left, I'm making about $200 by parting it out. And this sold in a little bit less than a month, I believe. Here's a Pleasant Company dress. Got this with all the Pleasant Company American Girl stuff at that garage sale for only a quarter. I've already made hundreds of dollars on it and sold this dress for $30. It took about a week to sell. Here is a Ninja food processor motor. Got this at a garage sale along with all the other pieces. I parted them all out. I think this is the last piece. Paid $1 or $2 for all of it and ended up selling this piece for $15 plus shipping. And it sold in about 2 months. Here is a pair of Doc Martens industrial boots. Got these at a garage sale for $25, and I sold them for $80 plus shipping. Ended up making some decent profit. They took about a month to sell. Got a couple of these TV tape lights. I think it was Home Depot, maybe Lowe's, maybe even Walmart. I don't remember, other than it was a retail arbitrage thing. I got them because they were cheap, and I thought maybe I'd end up using them. They're like $1 or $2. But I ended up throwing them on eBay. Sold this one for $18. It took about 1.5 years to sell, so definitely this stuff is saturated. But again, I mostly bought it because it was cheap, and I thought I would use it. Here's a Sony AV system remote. I'm not even sure where this came from exactly at this point. I have probably a couple hundred loose remotes. I pick them up when I see them. Sometimes I use with units, sometimes just to flip. Sold this one for $19, free shipping, and looks like it took about a year to sell. Here are a couple Bluetooth speaker bulbs. Got these at Lowe's a few years ago. I remember getting, 20, 30 of them. I sold some on Amazon, and then something happened. I couldn't sell them on Amazon anymore. Ended up in the death pile. I finally listed some on eBay. Selling 2 for $20. 20 bucks, got like $1 or less into them. And it took about 2 months to sell the first two. $20 doing free shipping on them. They're light. Here are a pair of New Balance shoes in great condition. Found these at a rummage sale for a couple of dollars and sold them for $30 plus shipping. It took about 6 months to sell. So this is a cool flip. It's just not necessarily a good one because I paid a bit too much for it, but this vintage PowerMite mini tool set I picked up for, I think it was $50. And the plan was to at least double my money. However, a lot of the tools that came with it, the power tools that are in here, they did not work. And then some of the original tools are missing, and there's plastic tools there, which is not correct. But there's also this stuff in here going with it, but the tool bench and the drill does work, so I just ended up selling it all for $70 plus shipping, get my money back, maybe make a few dollars. Wasn't the plan, but sometimes that happens with reselling. It only took about 2 weeks to sell. Honestly, if all this stuff would have been working and complete, I probably would have made over $100 in the end. Here's some Mega Bloks Dragons I got in a big lot from a garage sale, paid $20 for everything. These are just pieces and broken parts that I'm selling for parts only. Sold them for $15 plus shipping. Took about a month and a half to sell, so getting some money back, and then once I sell everything, I'll make some pretty okay profit. Here's a pair of Asics shoes. Got these at a rummage sale for a couple of dollars. Sold them for $27 plus shipping, and they sold in about a month. Pretty good for shoes. Here is a Harry Potter Monster Book of Monsters plush, new with tags. Found this at a Goodwill. I think I paid $2.99 or $3.99, don't remember exactly, but sold it for $20 plus shipping, and it sold in about a week is all. There it is, everybody. That's what I have to show you today. Some great flips. I've been so busy recently, I haven't had a lot of time to list, and I'm just running out of good inventory. I'm really looking forward to this winter, just being able to take a couple months and list as much as possible. But if you did enjoy the video, hit that like button for me. Make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, flipping_junk. And this has been Wick. Until next time.